Welcome to the 6th video of our soil testing series, where we'll look at topsoil. Topsoil is the most organic, rich layer in the soil and the main zone for water and nutrient uptake by the plants, and thus should be protected. It's also the layer with the most biological activity and where soil organic carbon is most prevalent. Increasing soil organic matter in the topsoil will eventually increase soil organic matter deeper in the soil profile, as cation exchange capacity will improve, moving carbon down the profile. The soil surface is full of relatively fresh particulate organic matter, which intercepts the energy from raindrops and protects the physical soil surfaces from the drainage and from erosion. The deeper the topsoil, the better. The soil beneath the topsoil is known as the subsoil, and it's often identified by a change of colour and texture between the top and the sub. However, there's not always a notable difference, and sometimes other indicators are used. We will go through 3 different methods that can be used to determine the depth of topsoil. And to do this, we need to dig a hole in the selected paddock to about 20 or 30 centimetres, and we'll need a ruler or a tape measure. Method 1 is looking for an obvious difference in colour and texture between the topsoil and the subsoil. The topsoil is typically darker in colour, often brown, and of a lighter texture, while the subsoils are often a brighter colour and a heavier texture. We've got some more clay. A variation of the above can occur when there is a pale layer above the top of the subsoil. This pale layer has a similar texture to the layer above, but it's lower in organic matter levels, but it's still referred to the topsoil. The subsoil begins when both the texture and the colour change. Once the boundary between the topsoil and the subsoil layers is identified, you can measure the depth of that topsoil layer. Method 2 is looking at changes in the structure down the profile, with the depth at which it becomes quite harder to dig, and this usually indicates a change in a soil layer. So you can measure that depth to which that change occurs. The third and final method can be used when there is a similar colour, texture and structure down the soil profile. To determine the topsoil, we can therefore look at where most of the plant roots have accumulated, as this is a good indicator of the topsoil layer. Measure the depth at which the plant root mass declines. This is where the subsoil starts. An important thing to note is that sometimes the boundaries where the topsoil occurs are uneven, and we need to record when this is the case and average out those different boundary depths. Using the Soil Health Scorecard, we can assess if the topsoil depth is poor, is it less than 10 centimetres, and it gets a 1. Fair, greater than 10 centimetres, but there's one of those overlying bleached pale layers, that gets a 2, or is it good? It's deeper than 10 centimetres and gets a 3. We can see that assessing topsoil has a weighting of 1, keeping our score as is and indicating that topsoils are not necessarily changed through decisions we can make as land managers. However, over time and with increasing soil organic matter through farming practices or soil amendments, that quality of topsoil can increase over time.